Hey everyone, welcome back. It's just me. I'm all by myself. As you can see, Tim has gone micro.
Yes, unfortunately, my webcam has decided to take a bite the bullet. But I got one ordered 4K one, so hopefully that'll be so you'll see me in even better detail. I don't know if it's gonna make a difference, but anyways, so yeah, for this week we're a little bit faceless.
And by we, he means him.
Me.
So
yeah.
instead, you gotta look at my ugly mug. So terribly sorry about that.
Do you have me as icon at least?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, guys, we're gonna start off with a lawsuit because I think this is gonna be really, really interesting. So this week, news broke that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company were officially suing Pocket Pair, the creators of Pal World, for patent infringement. And I'm gonna stop. And so, Tim, what do you think about this? I'm just curious. Like, what do you think about this? And I'll go into what my thoughts are.
Well, first, I remember when the Pal World was first teased back before it was even released, and everyone was saying, "Oh, is Nintendo going to sue? Is Nintendo going to sue?" And there was a lot of ignorant statements. So imagine that you're ignorant people online. That's not true. But anyways, a couple things. It reminds me, wow, it's probably been a while ago. We had that one. We talked about that one lawsuit from the company that the Tetris company sued, and the way they won wasn't because the gameplay was like you. Because let's recap that. You cannot sue for gameplay. You cannot sue for stuff like that, but you can sue and win by what they call the squint test. And that's what I think they're going to win, Jared, because obviously Pal World and Pokemon gameplay-wise are not remotely the same. Not even, one's a turn-based RPG, another one's a third-person shooter action game, right? The only similarities that they have, obviously, is their monster collecting genre. So that's the only similarity. But I think Nintendo's going to win by the squinting test. And what the squinting test means is, back to that Tetris thing, the graphics of their game were so identical to Tetris that you couldn't tell a difference with what they call the squint test, but aka where it's a legal term for where you could have to squint so hard if you can't tell the difference, it's a copyright. Anyways, that's what I think, because if you remember, there was a bunch of back before the game was out, for Pal World, and even during it, people would be posting themes saying, "How is this allowed? Look at this Nintendo Pokemon." I don't know, said Pokemon. I don't know. Let's just use Pikachu for example. It wasn't really necessarily Pikachu. And then this Pokemon, Pal in Pal World. Oh my God, they look very similar, if not identical. The only difference is color variations and maybe eyes or etc. Something like that. So you have to also remember, guys, that Pal World, the developer, admitted that they used AI to design their monsters, and they got a lot of backlash about that too, saying, "Well, wow, you're not used an artist, you're being lazy, etc." We've had this discussion many times. AI is here to stay, and it's a powerful tool for developers. The thing, though, is about AI is what they do is AI will take a sample from, let's see, a source material, right, and it'll start kind of manipulating it and changing it a little bit, but it bases its original design on a, we'll use Pikachu. Everyone knows Pikachu. So it uses Pikachu as the base model, and then it just varies it a little bit. That's what AI usually does. And obviously, you can use the AI in different ways. You don't have to use it per se that, but that's what AI is there for. So it takes the designs of others and changes. That's why there's a big issue right now with what they call AI artists, where they just use art from other people and just manipulate it a little bit. And the true artists are upset about that. Like, hey, man, you're basically copying my art. I don't get any kind of compensation for this, and you're basically, cheating the system. So there's a lot of issues with AI right now, and a lot of backlashes from people that are true, quote unquote art. Well, they really are artists, but they're ones that feel that they're entitled to getting some kind of compensation, or at least giving them credit you're using or referencing their artwork. So it's a very hot topic. And yeah, you remember I showed you back in the day about Pal World how close, I mean extremely close, some of these pals are to Nintendo's Pokemon. So I think the squint test is what's going to make the case for Nintendo. And remember, we talked about that. Well, I'll let you talk about it before we talk about the consequences that can happen.
Yeah, no. I mean, on my side, I don't really understand what took so long.
Yeah,
to be really honest. Like,
maybe they wanted to make sure. I doubt that. Or some people are saying Nintendo's being greedy because they wanted to wait till they got huge and made a lot of money. But yeah, but they made a huge.
No, but that doesn't
make sense.
No, that makes no sense because they have stopped indie games before they were even.
Oh, of course,
before they were even out. No, so there's a couple of things legally speaking that we got to talk about here. Okay,
yeah.
So companies have patents, they have trademarks, they have all those sorts of things, and that's the angle I thought they were going to use was their trademark. I didn't think they were going to go with anything else. Like, I really did think they were going to go with that and basically say that they're infringing on their trademarks, the likeness of the characters and stuff like that. But they didn't. Because that's not the angle.
Oh, what? They
are accusing them of patent infringement.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, that's very different. So that's really like the internet is all abuzz, right? Of which patent that Nintendo has, because Nintendo does hold patents, and yes, some of them are gameplay mechanics that they were successful at patenting. And so,
that's interesting because gameplay is drastically different, so I can't see that angle, but go ahead and continue.
Well, no, it's just like if they got the patent, then it doesn't matter, right? Like, and like that's it. That patent belongs to them. So it's gonna be very interesting. I really don't know why they went in this direction. The only thing I can think of is like they want to destroy this, like completely destroy it. But it's still weird to me because they could have gone the likeness route. Like,
the likeness is because, dude, you saw those pictures in comparison. I mean, dude, literally, they look a carbon copy.
Yeah,
I was surprised Nintendo allowed them to get this far because, I mean, some of them, like I said, blatantly, obviously, a copy of the original.
Yeah,
just colorization and some, little changes here and there, but not enough to. Thinking of trademarks. Let's use an example of trademarks like Mickey Mouse's original Steamboat Willie version is public domain now, so people are allowed to use its likeness, etc. But they're not allowed to make a game or movie or cartoon with that Steamboat Willie's likeness and call him Mickey Mouse, because Mickey Mouse is still, the name is still a trademark. People thought that Mickey Mouse was available. No, just the likeness of that original drawing of him.
Yeah,
so the trademarks are different from
and you still have like Superman, for example. It's coming up. Like his will come out soon. We'll go into
the name won't.
But even if the name does, you will not be able to use that character in the exact same way.
Oh, exactly.
Exactly. So this is the whole thing. It's not like, randomly someone's going to come out and start making all of these things.
None.
But anyway, the big thing here is just, I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see, like, what patent. Like, I'm really curious.
I'm curious because I didn't really pay much attention to because of the lawsuit. I didn't read it because I assumed it was going to be likeness, because I told you I'm surprised they took so long. So maybe this is why they didn't take so long, because maybe likeness, they didn't bother them too much.
No. To me, this makes something is definitely up, because Nintendo never would do this. This is not
no.
Like, they would have crushed them with the demo.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because there's a lot of comments online you read. Believe it or not, a lot of them are supportive of Nintendo in this case, because if they are infringing on Nintendo's properties, they have every right to do this. And other people like, this is a big corporation bullying the little guy. No, if someone's stealing your stuff and it's legit, of course it has to be proven in court of law, guys, not some random little Timmies and Johnnies online, right? But once it's proven, if it is Nintendo and they win the case, then they have every right to protect their IPs like anyone does. And then it's going to be interesting. Of course, this is going to be in court for a while. It's not going to be cut and dry, guys. It's not going to be like, whoa, the judge is like, yeah, you got pay up. Which brings us, are you ready to go to what you think of the consequences might be?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So you've talked about a couple of things. One, they have to pay a shit ton of money, which could happen. Or they get shut down, which is a possibility. But I think they're going to pay a shit ton of money, and then they're going to be forced to change whatever it is they have to change. Because I don't know if Nintendo. You think Nintendo's going to force the game to be shut down if they win? Because they're not going to license. Oh, that's the other thing. License out the IP.
Yeah, that's
they're not going to do that. Nintendo's never going to do that.
No way.
That's not even in the question.
No, personally, if I had to put money on this, I mean, I would love to know what patent they're talking about that they're infringing on, like specifically, because it would arm us a little bit better, so that we would know.
It would give us yes.
But realistically,
tell that.
Realistically, I think this is going to go the way of like some of those emulation people there, where they're going to sue them for like $1 billion.
Yeah, and they're going to
and that'll be the end of that, where the developers will be paying until they're dead times 100, because you can't possibly.
Here, let me check while we're recording this. Let me check, because a lot of times, I don't know if Nintendo does this, but this has happened in the past, where companies get sued and they report it to Steam, and it's forced them to take the sales of the game off the storefront until the lawsuit's covered.
But you have to have they'll have to do their injunction first, right? So they'll have to.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's still on there.
Yeah, so like that's still possible if during like if the like, again, we don't have the full details here, but if in the opening basically of it, when all the files, like, when both parties have given their documentation, then of course whoever is the presiding judge has that right to say, okay, until this is done, all sales are over. Yeah, well, that happened with the what was it, the DualShock or whatever it was? Remember, like,
that's happened with that. It's happened with other.
Yeah, it happened with the Apple Watch. It just happened with the Apple Watch. So
it happened with a Chinese developer. God, what game was it? I know there's always these popular games, but there was a Chinese developer had a very popular game at the time, and I think they were able to put it back eventually. I'm not sure what outcome. I didn't keep track of it, but yeah, their game was taken off the storefront. And people were upset about it, but. So yeah, that might happen. We'll definitely report that, guys, once it does. But we'll see. That's still probably months away. I don't see any major progress on this until sometime next year, because it's already September. It's come holiday time. I don't know about in Japan, but at least in the U.S., kind of things start closing down for the holidays. So yeah, we're not going to see any real major news on this anytime. So the law system, at least in the U.S., moves at a snail's pace. I'm pretty sure Japan's very similar too.
Yeah, and I don't know where it was. I think it's all in Japan, because the developer is also Japanese.
It's in Tokyo, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see, guys. I'm for me, it's more educational. I'm actually
I can't wait.
Very curious to see, more so than anything. I would just like to know what patent they are infringing on.
Because patents are interesting. Like I said, you can't patent gameplay, because otherwise, imagine all turn-based RPGs. Whoever the first company to get the quote-unquote turn-based RPG mechanics would freaking would you have the license to them, right? So it's definitely not gameplay. And two, like I said, gameplay of the two games are not even remotely similar. One's an action RPG shooter, and one's a turn-based game. So yeah, they definitely not gameplay. So that's out of the question.
But it could be architecture, and so that's the catch, right? Like, you can patent that.
Yeah, you can't patent the Monster Collection aspect, because there's tons of competition that are out there. And even Pokemon inspired games that are the developer inspired from Pokemon took their inspiration from it. So yeah, you can't say, we patent the Monster Collection genre. You can't.
Yeah, no. It wouldn't be. It's not going to be anything. It's not going to be anything like that. Like I say, it's going to be more the architecture.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Anyway, so we'll find out, guys. We'll find out, because I'm really curious.
We'll let you guys know. Yes.
Yeah, but we're not leaving Nintendo just yet, because this week was an interesting one. Last week we talked a little bit about like some of the rumored specs that were coming around, and I'm not going to get into any of that, because it's honestly, for like lack of a better term, it's full of BS.
Jerry.
Yeah. The reason why is whenever rumors start hitting that are similar to other rumors, but there's key technology thing, like people are like, oh, it's got 12 gigs of RAM, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, and I'm like, okay, if the tech specs leaked, one of the very first things that would be mentioned is screen resolution. That'd be one of the very first things on the portable that would leak, because that is going to dictate how much juice is going to be taken from the battery, right? Like if this thing is like running a 4K OLED screen and all this, like your battery is going to disappear in 5 seconds. And so these are the sorts of things when you don't hear that, and you just start, oh, it's going to be like, you know, a PlayStation 4 to like, you know, around a base PS4 in handheld mode. And then when you dock it, it's going to be like an Xbox Series S-ish. But that's all before DLSS or whatever it's called. So it's going to be even better. I just look and I'm like, guys, stop. Just stop. Because
I agree.
This is so full of crap. And then renders were put online of like what the system would look like, just 3D mock-ups. And again, I'm looking at this and I'm like, guys, stop. Like it's too much in line. We all know Nintendo. They never do the same thing twice. Ever. No. They never do the same thing twice. Meaning, whatever this new machine is going to be, it could be similar, sure. It could be totally similar, but it's not going to be the same. Look at their generation. Look at their history. They have never done the same thing twice. The closest thing that we ever got was DS to 3DS. Like if you didn't know about the 3D, right? If you just got the mock-ups, that's about the closest that I can think of anyway, of one of their systems being very similar to the one that came before it. But outside that, they've been radically different. So now here's the rumor that the Switch 2 is going to look more or less identical. Like I'm like, no, guys, no way.
Well, you heard the rumor that came out the last week or so is that it's going to have dual screens. So there's that rumor. So what do you think of that possibility?
Okay, that to me could be more interesting because it's different. Like it's not, that's not the same as all the other rumors that are out there. I heard about that where, so guys, it would have like a hinge system, just exactly like the 3DS. And the idea is that you would close it, plunk it in to your whatever dock or whatever. And so then it would, supercharge it. But of course there's a plethora, right, of not issues, but questions that arise if something like that were indeed true, because then what does your controller look like?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if I'd like the DS. It was cool, but I kind of personally like more of the Switch's kind of tablet design or single screen design, because I don't know, Matt. To me, the DS was the second screen. Did they ever really? There's some games that properly utilized it.
Oh, well, the DS.
Pretty,
I would say the DS.
Gimmicky.
The DS was the one that really used it. 3DS, it at least from. If Steven's here, he's probably screaming at the podcast here. On the 3DS, though, I didn't find it was as utilized. I'm just trying to think.
No, it wasn't.
But DS, yeah, man, are you kidding? Everything from Spirit Tracks to friggin' Resident Evil.
Wait, let me rephrase that. Nintendo utilizes it substantially pretty well, but a lot of the third parties were very lazy about it. I remember that a lot of the third
Resident Evil. Go play Resident Evil.
Well, that's one exception.
No, I know. But I'm just saying,
the majority of third parties really.
If Steven was here, I'm sure he'd be killing both of us right now, because he's the guy that.
Was he a true? Thinking of which, I started playing the DS like a year or so ago. I have to charge it up because I have a little backlog on it. But fuck, man, it's hard. As you get older, your eyes aren't as good. So I can't. Still, I can't read this shit no more with my glasses.
Look at this guy dropping F-bombs. You're gonna get me banned.
I know. But damn, dude, I couldn't read it. I'm like, oh my god. This
Well,
is
dude,
horrible.
you're almost 80. Like it
Oh,
happens.
please, please. Yeah, when you guys, when you get in your 40s, your eyes, well, even earlier than that maybe, but your eyes start to, you can't focus from like a reading level. The older vision's, you guys know, you always see the older people, guys, where they have to hold this thing at the distance. Yeah, you just wait, youngsters. You'll be doing the same thing too.
I love
right?
the monologues you do are hilarious. You're
Yeah,
like, you listen to me, Sonny.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, the 3DS.
No, but that could be cool, dude. Seriously, like one of the biggest regrets I have of the Wii U not like performing well is we never got to see what Breath of the Wild would have truly been like. Because, like, if you go back and you watch those early videos of Breath of the Wild where it was a Wii U exclusive, and you use the gamepad to quickly switch your gear on the fly, to bring up the map and highlight a new waypoint, all of that stuff is freaking awesome compared to what we actually got. Because both what we got on both the bastards made it so that the Wii U version wouldn't be better than the Switch version. So they pulled all of that stuff. And I was like, come on, that sucks, man. And because, like, you could feel it. Like, you're constantly pausing to switch weapons and everything like that. Whereas with the gamepad, you would have just tapped with your finger and boom, you would have had the new weapon. But anyway, very curious. Okay, I'm serious. I am really, really, really curious, and I could totally see them doing a Breath of the Wild remaster with that. If there is a second screen, I could totally see that. Totally.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, the new Zeldas are obviously really good. And we have the new Zelda coming up pretty quick, which is
I know this week, man. This week.
Thinking of remaster, since it's relatively a new game or newer, it's not too old, especially Tears, right? I would love them to remaster like not Ocarina of Time, but Majora's Mask, or all those, or Ocarina of Time in high definition, a modern gameplay engine. Think about it. Those games were great, dude. Like Majora's Mask, such an underrated gem. I know a lot of people. It was like some people hated it, some people loved it.
Well, the thing is, dude,
wouldn't you love to have those games redone?
They just did those on the 3DS, and I know that was now like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, but that's 3DS. I'm talking about
like no, I know you're
powerful
I know.
console. Yeah,
but it's just like it's just that it's like a Link Between Worlds. That's an excellent game, man. Like the 3DS, seriously, the 3DS was phenomenal. How many awesome games were on that system. And Switch too, like seriously, Switch has had some incredible games.
Oh yes, it has. And I was just on the Switches again. I always look at the store at least once a week, and it has a plethora of such garbage, but there you'll see, there's a good game. But it's amazing how much Switch has gotten so. But man, Switch also, I'm pretty sure other consoles are like that too, because I remember the PlayStation 3 had a lot of junk on their store. But
shovelware, man. There's shovelware.
But it's amazing how much shovelware there is.
Yeah.
But between all that garbage, you'll have so many amazing gems. And then some of those shovelware you think is shovelware end up being little gems too.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. Like you got to do your due diligence, right? Like you got to do your research and see. But yeah. Anyway, so that's Nintendo. I mean, I have a feeling Nintendo's going to be on the docket pretty much every podcast moving forward, just because we are getting close. Of course, everyone was wrong. There was no Nintendo Direct, just like I said last week. It's exactly what I said. Like I'm telling you guys, stop looking at what they did with the Switch 1. Stop it, because they are totally in a different place now. They don't need to announce anything right now because they're still making tons of cash. There's lots of good games coming up right now. Zelda's coming up on Thursday, I think it is.
I can't wait to hear your I'll probably get it.
Oh, for sure. I'll let you guys know. It all depends, though, because, again, with Nintendo, I don't buy digital. I buy physical because I don't trust them.
Why?
I don't trust them.
Oh, you don't trust the... Oh, yeah, we had this discussion. I'm a pure digital person. You're not. And I can understand that.
I'm totally digital with everything else. It's just Nintendo.
Nintendo, yeah.
They're the only ones because
They
they
take their
continuously
storefronts down, yeah.
close their storefronts early. And so I'm like, well, I don't know. Screw you.
Well,
Like,
they promise the Switch is going to be 100% compatible with the next system, and your games will be able to.
I do not trust anyone.
I don't trust it, but if that's true,
well, if that's true, then fine. Like,
that means, yeah.
Then
I wish it was like. We had a discussion many times about how Nintendo. I mean, even Sony, not Microsoft, but Sony. I mean, I'm kind of a little ignorant. I don't keep on top of their storefronts, but I don't know. Is like the PlayStation 4 storefront? Is it on the PlayStation 5? Meaning, if you have PlayStation 5,
yeah.
It is okay. Good.
Yeah.
Because they should all be like Steam.
3, but
okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But PS4 and PS5, because the architecture is the same, you pretty much play everything on both, and so they just kept the games. I mean, certain ones are pulled because of licenses and stuff like that, and that's totally normal. It's the same with Steam. You know, people forget that, but it is the same with Steam. You don't have a lifetime of, like, on the storefront. You still have your games, but you may not be able to buy certain games anymore because the licenses for the digital distribution wear out. That's normal. Like, that's totally normal. The thing that pisses me off is when I just want to play a game, right? And with Steam, what's nice is I can just go back, even if the rights are gone for the digital distribution to sell it, my copy is still there. And so I can go and play and whatever. Anyways, okay, we got way off track there, but just saying that I think Nintendo's going to be part of the podcast from, like, here on out, just because, like, more and more now. And we are getting closer. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, we are getting closer. I think we will see something probably with the Switch, but again, with the Switch 2, but they're in no hurry. Like, it could be November, it could be December, it could be January. We'll see. I mean, I'm pretty sure, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the next Direct, like the next time they host a Direct, if it's in October or November, pretty sure it'll be looking at the future. Like,
yeah,
and that's okay. I mean, that's fine. Now, as for release date and all this stuff, who knows, guys? Who knows?
We're probably looking at summertime, I'm assuming, because they usually give us at least a 6-month window, right? Unless they have manufacturing, which has been a rumor for a long time, that they've been manufacturing for a while now, because they want to prep to make sure they have quote unquote plenty of stock for everyone. So we'll see. If that's the case, then that means they could be, surprised, kind of like an Apple type thing. Oh, by the way, Switch 2's announced. Oh, by the way, you're going to get it in 2 weeks. Well, that's an exaggeration. You get it in a month or two. I don't know if it's that aggressive on Nintendo, but they could do something like a 3-month, less than a 6 month.
No, exactly. And like that's a very good comparison. Like, looking at Apple, their products all just released on Friday, and pretty much you can walk into an Apple store and get what you want. You may have a delay by like 24 hours or at most a week, but I like the fact that they open up pre-orders and they keep them open forever. Like, that's it. They don't close them and out of stock and all this nonsense. And I just really wish more and more companies would move in that direction, where it's like, guys, stop telling me it's out of stock and then I can't order it and whatever. It's like, just tell me. Okay, the initial allotment is gone, so now estimated arrival is in 2 weeks. Okay, fine.
That's
like, whatever.
Yeah, great. The whole theory is that they love the shorter stock because it creates hype, which might be somewhat true. I don't know. But companies at the end of the day want you to have the stock be available because they want to make money. They don't want to wait, right?
Well, that's
so
it.
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so last week we told you guys about the PlayStation 5 Pro. We had a lot to say about it. We were talking about how, like, console prices have really gone up, and for me and for you, Tim, like we were talking, like PC parts in general are expensive now, and moving forward, if it is true that the Switch 2 comes out at $500, it pretty much guarantees that the next console generation will be at a minimum $700, like for the next Xbox and PlayStation, which, wow, right? Like, that's a lot of money. But again, like, I get it.
A huge amount of money.
Like, I understand. And people that are you know, going and being like, oh my God, like this is ridiculous. It should never cost more than $300. It's like, guys, dream on. Go buy a graphics card. That's all I have to tell you. Like
$300, yeah.
No, it's just people are not being realistic anymore. Where I'm not trying to justify, like 700 is too much. I would have put that at 6 myself.
Even 6 is stretching it. You know who's going to be hurt?
But you got to look at your competitors, right? So like we did last time, Microsoft just released a 2 terabyte Xbox Series X that's identical. It has a disk drive and everything for 600. I would have just to been like to flex. I would have released mine at 600. Yes, it doesn't have the disk drive, but a lot of people would have been like, okay, yeah, but you know, it's the same price minus the disk drive, but it's a whole new console. Like it's got all new guts. Anyway,
it's going to be interesting because if Xbox is around 700 plus, that's going to really hurt them next gen because they struggle to sell their console to begin with, let alone
dude. This is what I'm saying. Like we're going to get into a very weird place soon where. Like it just won't be mass marketable. So all I can say is Nintendo, my God, you better make a lot of Switch 2s because you will be the cheapest like kid on the block.
And that might guarantee. Well, I think the Switch 2 or whatever it's called is going to be successful. Anyways, but well, we'll see. I think it will be. But if you look at Nintendo's history, they've had they're not Grand Slam, dud, Grand Slam. Dud. So we'll see if the next system's a dud. I don't think so.
No, honestly, with the way everything is going, with the way everything is going, I honestly think Nintendo will have to try to fail in order to fail.
Yeah, exactly. And their games carries them so much, which is amazing, man. It's like the true Nintendo fans, like you and I, that grew up with them. The true fans. I'm talking about the NES, John, 80 kids, etc. The ones that grew up with Nintendo, Atari, and all that. We're all getting old, man. Not older, so we're not young. Chickens or whatever, pups or whatever we'll call it. So, because you talk to like younger people, like teenagers and even kids, a lot of them don't like Nintendo. So it's like their fan base. I don't think it's the young crowd anymore.
Oh, man. I don't know. They've sold so many. I don't even like. People say different things, but I think it's like Disney. It's like they're
a family.
They're generational, man. Yeah. They're generational. Like they'll do their thing. So okay. Where I'm going with this, so hear me out, monsieur, and tell me what you think of this. So we're not going to regurgitate everything I just said. What the whole internet went abuzz. People are like, "Oh my God, it's not worth it. What the f?" and blah 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 blah. And quite literally, I don't even know if it was a week later. I think it was I feel like it was like 4 days later or something like that. Sony comes out with a PlayStation blog and they release a video. It's like 5 minutes or something like that. And it's talking about all their plans to celebrate the 30th anniversary of PlayStation, which, of course, in Japan, it was released in December of 1994. So we're coming up to the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. They did the exact same thing with the 20th anniversary of PlayStation. So what are they doing? So they announced that they will be basically taking all of their hardware with the exception of the VR set. So that includes the PS Pro, the PS5 Pro, the regular, whatever, like digital version of the PlayStation 5, the DualSense controller, the Edge controller, and the PlayStation Portal. So all 5 of those devices will be completely rebranded in a absolutely beautiful original PlayStation 1 gray color. All the PlayStation logos will be the original multicolored PlayStation logos. I won't lie, guys. Absolutely, it looks stunning. Okay, like really, all of the product line looks absolutely amazing. They did not talk price points for anything. And what they did announce is that the PS5 Pro will only be available in a bundle that will include the PlayStation 5 Pro itself, a DualSense, an Edge, a charging dock thingy, which will also be branded, And has a badass USB-C cable that has the original PlayStation. Remember, like the controller, like the port there?
Yeah.
It has one of those things, and you get like some paper clips and then the PlayStation logo. And
yeah, that's going to be at least $1,000.
Oh, dude.
At least.
It comes with a vertical stand that's all been, decked out. All the, my guess right now, my guess is somewhere around 1,200 US.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just because
that's insane.
If I take all the parts together, it's like 920 US. So tack on the special, of it, for sure will be at least a couple $100 for that. So my guess is going to be 1,199. That's my guess US. Which will in Canada will probably be like $1,600, something like that. Even the friggin' boxes that these devices come in are all modeled after the original PlayStation 1 box.
Yeah,
and when I saw this, I was just like, this is stunning, stunning. And then they dropped the bomb. Only 1,200 and 12,300 are being made. Okay?
Yeah.
Which means with bots and everything else, scalpers will get these within seconds of them being available. And they go up for sale this Thursday. The pre-orders begin. Okay? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, obviously Sony knew about this ages ago. You don't just whip this up because of the backlash of the price of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Obviously, you don't just do that, right? But the timing is too suspicious to me. And here's my theory. I think they knew that people were gonna flip out over the price of the PS5 Pro. And so by doing this, they knew that there would be goodwill everywhere, that people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, I'd love to buy X. I'd love to buy this or that or Y or whatever. Knowing that no one will actually be able to buy one, right?
Yep.
Because like there's so few that are made for the demand. And all of a sudden, $700 for a PS5 Pro doesn't look
seem
too
so
bad.
Yeah,
I'm so sure.
Sony.
Sure.
Sony. It's funny, dude. It's funny. Yeah, it'd be interesting, guys, in the comments. Are anyone going to get the special collector's edition? Because, it looks beautiful to what they've done. You got to give props for that. But it's going to be very expensive. I don't see... It's not going to sell masses. Because I don't think traditionally that these collector editions do, right? Most people already have...
Dude, they sell out. They sell out in about 40 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're not going to sell 100 million long term.
Well, no, dude. There's 12,300. That's it. That's all they're making.
Yeah, you're right. It's limited.
Yeah, so it'll sell out.
Yeah, it'll be gone.
It'll sell out, and then it'll be on eBay for like $5,000 US, and all of a sudden, that $700 price is not so bad. And what an amazing coincidence that the PS5 Pro, the regular version, pre-orders go up on Thursday as well. What an amazing coincidence!
Yeah, so
I'm telling you guys, this was all done on purpose, so that when you go to buy a like the 30th anniversary and you can't get one, and you see the price is like $1,200, like I'm saying, or more, when you see the $700 price point,
you're like, oh, that's a good savings.
Exactly. You're like, oh, wow, okay. I didn't really need the second controller there. So, yeah, okay, that's not so bad. I'm telling you, this was the strategy. From the beginning, this was the strategy, because nothing else really makes any sense. And the timing is too... Why would you have the pre-orders on the exact same day? Why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Sony, sneaky little Sony, man.
Yeah,
that's funny, but no, you're right. It's all a mind game. These companies are really good, especially mobile games, with the whole fear of missing out mechanic. It's like they use a lot of tricks to manipulate people to buy shit.
Yeah, FOMO.
So yeah,
man. FOMO is real.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you, man.
It is, and they use
listen,
that.
man. If I had any capability of buying this, I absolutely would buy the bundle. I'm not kidding, because like I've been a fan of this for 30 years now. You know, like PlayStation. It's funny, Nintendo, Sega, and PlayStation hold a very special place in my memory. Xbox less so, only because I kind of felt like they should have been Sega. Like I felt like Microsoft and Sega should have teamed up and kept that brand alive. I always,
that would have been a smart move, especially for Microsoft always trying to break into the Japanese market. They've been had extreme difficulty with that. That would have helped them, right? But yeah. But anyway. Then again, Sega's had at the time was having a lot of issues with failure, so maybe Microsoft's like, really want to brand up or team up and brand up with
I get
quote unquote loser,
Yeah, exactly. But it's just funny because like watching what Microsoft did in those early days felt very much like an extension of Sega. Like even if you take their controller and stuff, I think I did a video of this like years ago where I took like the evolution of Sega's controllers, and it was evolving into an Xbox controller, which is so kind of ironic in the end. But anyway, like each one of these sort of systems really, like, they're special to me. Like personally, like PlayStation was one of the very first systems, like, you know, that I had used work money on and stuff like that. Like, it was one of the first systems where it introduced like mature themes like Resident Evil and all of that. And like, yeah, I'm telling you, like, just I can afford one of these bundles. I would totally do that, but I'm not like a collector. I would literally use it, and I would fanboy sort of all over that.
Right, guys, you'd have it on eBay the next day. Jared's a con man. Don't
right.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But no, like, and you know, like, I love when Nintendo does stuff like that. You know, like they were doing for like Super Famicom, like DS and like skins, and like I really like when they do that kind of stuff. And like with the PS4, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember, but like when they did the 20th anniversary, if memory serves correctly, when you booted up your PlayStation 4, they even had the original PS1 intro.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Like, it's cool, you know? Like it's little things like that that really, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we'll take a look. We'll see what happens on Thursday. I guarantee you all of these PS5 Pros, all of the 30th anniversary
will sell out
instantly.
Like,
instantly. We don't know which retailers it's going to be available in Canada. In the US, it's direct from Sony itself. But in Canada, for me, unfortunately, all I know is Walmart said they will not be carrying the 30th anniversary edition, only the regular one. So I'm like, okay, scratch them off the list. But right before this podcast, I got my, 48th platinum with Astrobot.
Oh, how's the game, by the way? You like it?
Dude, man. Oh. So sometimes, you know, people overreact, right? And they're like, oh, this is really good, or that's really good, or this is the best, and this and that. Guys, I honestly think this is the best platformer Sony's released since Ape Escape.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, it is excellent, man. Absolutely excellent. And it's excellent for two reasons. One, it's just a damn good game. Like, if you like 3D platformers, this is a phenomenal game. But the second reason, and the reason that makes that 30th anniversary collection even, or bundle, or whatever the hell you want to call it, even more enticing, is the fact that it's a nostalgia game. It celebrates the 30 years of PlayStation.
Nice.
Yeah, man. And like, I finished it right before coming into this podcast, And I was like, man, you know, like it's what makes Smash Brothers so cool. You know, like having all these different characters from Nintendo's history and stuff. And it's like, man, I love stuff like that. Like I had so much fun, not only because the game is great, but just going around and like you have like this one planet where you have 300 of these little bots, but tons of them are based off of different characters from classic Sony games. So like Solid Snake, Ryu, Ken, you name it.
That's cool.
You know, like Lara Croft, and like just hundreds and hundreds of different obscure games, popular games, whatever. And I was going through and I was just like, I wish companies would do that more often. Like celebrate their history. Like a company like Nintendo, man, God, they could do some crazy things like that. You know, like they could, and they do. Like, don't get me wrong, like they do. And it was like, you know, the NES and SNES Classic. I have those right beside me. They're actually connected because, like, nostalgia is such a powerful, like,
it is
thing. And when done correctly, it can make something that was great to begin with incredible. And I've played some amazing games this year, and I understand why people are saying it's Game of the Year, like, caliber. It really, really is. And I'm so happy I finished it before Zelda. So, boom!
Yeah, and then you'll be talking about Zelda soon. I'm glad you like Astro Bots. Yeah, it's been getting really good reviews, so it has to be a decent game. I'm not really much into platformers myself anymore. I stopped, I think it was N64 is when I stopped playing them. I don't know, man. I guess I could probably play them again, but I don't know. It's just, I've moved on to from those type of games. So I don't remember the last time I played a platformer.
No, and that's okay. I mean, that's fine. It's just like, I'm really surprised that everything lined up perfectly for Zelda. I was a little nervous when I decided to take on Final Fantasy 16. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish Final Fantasy 16, Visions of Mana, Astro Bot.
And that, you know, Zelda.
But I did, and I'm shocked, man. I'm absolutely shocked. And let's be honest, guys, there's no chance Amazon delivers me Zelda on Thursday. There's no chance.
Well, they're usually pretty good. But...
They suck in Canada.
They're good here, but...
Whoa, hold up. Quantities. They are amazing. If it's in stock, you'll get it the next day. Like, they're fantastic. Like, fantastic. But where they suck is when you do a pre-order... it's so stupid. For video games, they leave pre-orders up forever. Not consoles, but for video games, they leave them up forever and ever and ever and ever. So, like, right now, you can go in and pre-order Zelda. You might get it in, like, October. And so this is the only thing that I'm kind of, like...
hesitant about.
Yeah, because...
You don't want to just go to a local retail store and get it?
Dude, where? No one sells games here anymore.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. That's the kind of thing that passed.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you still have
GameStop. Yeah, there's GameStop and stuff like that I guess you know, like, I could go to, but I'm working on Thursday anyway, so it's all good. It's no big deal. There's
hopefully you'll get it soon. I'm really looking forward to what you have to say about it, because I think, well, you're a hardcore Zelda fan, but it's gonna be interesting to see if it's a good game. Well, of course it's gonna be a good game, but
yeah, my two favorite series. Both come out one after another, so I'm super excited. It's got Zelda and then a Dragon Quest. That's like,
oh man,
heaven,
you're gonna be busy, because Dragon Quest is definitely going to take you a while. Zelda's traditionally not too big, but not too small. So Zelda will probably take you a little while, but the Dragon Quest 3 is going to probably take you. I don't know. Was the original Dragon Warrior was it pretty long?
The third one, yeah, the third one. Is decently sized. It really depends on what I decide to do, because I'm still not decided where I'm going to play that. I haven't decided.
You mean you might get it on the PC?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, because the thing with the Switch is it hurts my friggin' hands, my wrists, when I play it in portable mode.
Old man.
No, I don't know. It's weird, dude. Like, I have the PlayStation Portal, and the PlayStation Portal doesn't hurt. Steam Deck doesn't hurt, but the Switch does.
Beefy too.
Like,
maybe it's just a layout.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's
or
too
you could
thin.
always play it docked.
Well, no, that's my point, right? Like, so I'm gonna. We'll see. I already got my because I haven't played on the Switch now for quite some time, so I had to recharge all my my Pro controller and stuff like that. But yeah, man. So that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for today's podcast. Oh, and other news is 40 days until Halloween, so it's already fall now officially. I think today's the first day of fall, right?
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very
another fall. Tons of great games coming out. Mm-hmm. So, the dog's going crazy. So I think that's a hint to say
it's a hint to say goodbye.
It's a hint. He's like, get off that podcast and help me. So, anyways, guys, next week we'll definitely be talking about some stuff.
Well, hopefully if Zelda comes in, guys, I'll have my first impressions. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
By the way, are you still like those overhead, view that the Zelda has?
Yeah, of course. Are you kidding?
Oh,
absolutely. Okay. There's a game called Plucky Squire that's like 5 hours.
Oh, long. I cannot wait for that. Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna
go play that.
But you see how
right
awesome
now.
that is. The 2D. And it translates to 3D seamlessly. Oh, that's such an awesome idea. But if it's 5 hours, let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'm gonna go try it right now.
That's one I've been. That's one I've been. Yeah, we'll talk about definitely impressions of games next week.
Okay.
That's something I've been keeping an eye on. All right.
All right, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.